Okay, so difficult conversations. Man, those are the worst. Like, I'd rather take a final exam unprepared than have one. There was this time with my roommate, Mark. We'd been friends since freshman year, total bros, but he started getting really messy, like leaving dishes for days, trash overflowing. It was just gross. And I'm pretty particular, especially when it comes to shared spaces. I tried hinting, leaving notes, but nothing. It built up. So finally, I had to sit him down. My heart was pounding, honestly. I practiced what I'd say in my head like 1,000 times. I tried to be calm, just lay out the facts, how it was affecting me. And he got defensive, big time. Like, who are you, my mom? This still stings, remembering that tension. We ended up in a yelling match, not ideal. But eventually he did start cleaning up. Not perfectly, but better. It was rough, but our friendship survived. Barely. It showed me that avoidance just makes things worse, even if the confrontation itself is painful. So, this happened during an international exchange program I did. I was paired with this guy, Kenji from Japan. Super smart, like top of his class in engineering. We were working on a joint project, and I kept pushing for direct answers, quick decisions, like, let's just nail this down. What do you think? And he'd just deflect or say, perhaps. It was driving me nuts. I thought he was being indecisive, maybe even trying to avoid responsibility. My competitive side was like, come on, let's win this thing. But it was a complete communication breakdown. Eventually, our professor stepped in, gently explained that in Kenji's culture, direct confrontation, or even too much directness, can be seen as rude or aggressive. It was a huge aha moment for me. I learned that empathy isn't just about feeling what someone else feels. It's about understanding their way of seeing the world. And communication isn't just speaking, it's really, really listening and observing, even when it's quiet. Yeah, okay, unfairness. That's something I can't stand. I saw this happen in one of my advanced CS classes. We had this coding competition, right? And this kid, Alex, he's brilliant, but a little socially awkward. He'd coded this amazing solution, totally unique. But during the presentation, this other student who's always loud and tries to dominate basically tried to pass off Alex's idea as his own, subtly. Like, oh, I was thinking along similar lines. And Alex was just like frozen, couldn't speak up. My competitive nature usually means I'm focused on my own stuff, but seeing that, just not right. So I raised my hand. I said, actually, Alex was discussing that exact approach with me last week. It's his concept. The air in the room just dropped. The loud kid turned bright red. The challenges? Oh, he shot me daggers afterward. And it probably made things awkward in that class for a bit. But the reward? Alex looked at me with so much gratitude. And the professor definitely noticed. It felt good, really good, to stand up for someone who couldn't stand up for themselves. Sometimes winning isn't about being first, it's about fair play. Prioritizing. That's always a work in progress for me, honestly, especially with academics, clubs, trying to maintain some semblance of a social life. It's easy to get sucked into everything. My trick? I've started using this system like a 3-tier approach. Top tier, non-negotiables, class attendance, major project deadlines, maybe a specific workout goal. Those have to get done. Second tier, important but flexible. Studying for a midterm that's still a week away, meeting up with a study group, hitting the gym. Third tier, nice to haves, scrolling social media, watching an extra episode of something, playing video games. I try to tackle the top tier first, then hit the second. The third tier only happens if everything else is squared away. It's about being ruthless with my time, because if I'm not, my grades suffer, and that's not an option. Distractions? Man, they're everywhere, especially with a phone, a laptop, multiple screens. It's like a constant battle for my attention. My main strategy? Isolation. When I really, really need to focus, I go to the library. Not just any spot, but a specific corner where I know I won't run into people I know. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and put it face down. Sometimes I even leave it in my backpack, far away. Noise-canceling headphones are a lifesaver. Even if I'm not listening to anything, they create a bubble. I also use a timer. Like, okay, 45 minutes of pure, uninterrupted work, then a 10-minute break. It helps trick my brain into thinking the distraction isn't that far away, just delayed. It's about creating an environment where distraction is just harder to access. Okay, this might sound cliche for a college student, but for me, it's got to be going to the gym every single morning, even if it's just for 30 minutes. It's not about getting huge or anything, though that's a nice side effect. It's about the mental reset. Before I hit the books, before I check my email, before the chaos of the day even starts, it clears my head. It burns off that restless energy I tend to have. It makes me feel disciplined, like I've already won something before the day even truly begins. And that feeling of accomplishment, it carries through the rest of my day, keeps me sharper, more focused. Without it, I just feel sluggish, unfocused. It's my anchor. My personal philosophy, my guiding star, is probably something like strive for excellence, but learn from every failure. I'm super competitive, always pushing to be the best, whether it's in classes or coding challenges. I want to win. But I've also learned, sometimes the hard way, that true growth comes from when things don't go your way, when you mess up, when you don't get the top grade. That's when you really figure things out. So it's about putting in the absolute maximum effort, giving it my all, but then being brutally honest with myself if it doesn't work out. Analyzing why. Not dwelling on the failure, but extracting the lesson. Because the goal isn't just to be good now, it's to keep getting better. Always. My biggest mistake, man, there are a few contenders, but probably the one that stands out was in high school. I was on the debate team, and we were prepping for a big regional competition. I was so focused on my own arguments, trying to make them perfect, that I completely neglected my partner. I barely listened to his points, criticized his research, basically treated him like he was slowing me down. My competitive drive just went completely overboard, and we lost. Big time. Because we weren't a team. This still hurts thinking about how I alienated him. What it taught me, that collaboration, true teamwork, is often more powerful than individual brilliance. And that winning at someone else's expense isn't really winning at all. It taught me humility and the importance of supporting your teammates even when you want to shine the brightest. If I could talk to my younger self, oh man, so much to say. First, I'd tell him to chill out. Seriously. Stop stressing so much about being the smartest, the best, the first. It's exhausting, and it alienates people. Second, I'd say, talk to people more. Really listen. I was always so focused on my own thoughts, my own achievements, that I missed out on connecting with people. And those connections, they're more important than any grade or award. Third, I tell him to take a loss. Don't be afraid to fail, to not be perfect. It's how you learn. And that's what matters in the long run. Don't let your ego get in the way of growth. Okay, this is a good one. I used to care so much about being right. Like, In every conversation, every argument, every little academic debate, I had to have the last word, had to prove my point, had to show I knew more. It was exhausting for me and probably for everyone around me. My competitive nature just took over. And now I realize how utterly meaningless that was. Being right often just meant shutting down a conversation or making someone feel stupid. What actually matters is understanding, learning, and building relationships. Letting go of that need to always be correct was incredibly freeing. It opened up so many more genuine discussions. A major setback. Yeah, I definitely had one of those. During my sophomore year, I was working on this incredibly complex coding project for a hackathon. I'd poured weeks, months into it, all-nighters, skipping meals, completely obsessed. I was convinced it was going to be groundbreaking. And then, the day of the presentation, something went wrong. A crucial bug, a total system crash. My demo just froze. Nothing worked. It was completely humiliating. I felt like such a failure, like all that effort was for nothing. I pretty much locked myself in my dorm for a few days, but eventually I got back up. I dissected the code, found the bug, fixed it, and I learned so much from that failure, more than if it had worked perfectly. It showed me that even when you're crushed, even when you feel like quitting, you can still find that inner drive to fix things. My resilience? Stronger than I thought. Stepping outside my comfort zone, this one's pretty recent, actually. I'm usually pretty comfortable with academic presentations, things where I can prepare and just deliver information. But I was asked to lead a brainstorming session for a new student initiative. And it wasn't about presenting, it was about facilitating, drawing ideas out of people, dealing with different personalities, managing potential conflicts. It was messy and unpredictable. My comfort zone is logic, code, predictable outcomes. This was the opposite. I felt awkward, unsure if I was doing it right, but I pushed through. I tried to listen more, guide less. And what I learned, that I can actually adapt, that I'm not just a numbers and code guy. I can actually connect with people, even when I'm not directly competing or lecturing. It was uncomfortable, but it showed me a whole new side of myself, a more social, leadership-oriented side that I didn't even know existed.